The exhibition of the year is coming up on Friday as the Kentucky Wildcats, number 9, host the number 1 Purdue Boilermakers. Braden Smith, potential player of the year, comes to Lexington. Going to be an incredible exhibition game, and we're going to preview it on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined as always by Carson Nash. Carson, it is almost Kentucky basketball season officially, and I am fired up. What about you?
Heck yeah, I'm super fired up. The Fighting Matt Painters are coming down to Lexington. It's been a while. I don't know. I don't remember the last time we played Purdue, but this should be really exciting. Purdue's the number 1 team in the country preseason, and they've got a lot of returners. They're dang good. Braden Smith, like you said, yeah, he's going to be in that conversation for National Player of the Year, and they're a dang good football. They're a dang good basketball team. They run a lot of pick and rolls. They get up and down. Braden Smith is a stud. TKR is really dang good. They added Oscar Clough, a guy from North Florida, and they've got some dudes, and they can really shoot the ball and spread the court.
Clough came from South Dakota.
Yeah,
it's that other kid, Murphy.
Yeah, the other kid's from North Florida.
Murphy, yeah.
I forget his name. Yeah,
Clough. Dude,
he can shoot the ball though.
That kid can. Yeah, the back. That's been the takeaway. Now, Carson and I sat here and talked about this game for 15 minutes or so before we pressed the record button. And my number one takeaway from all of the research we've done on Purdue these last couple of days, Carson, is their starting 5 is great. No debate to it. But once it gets down to the game of depth, we've got them beat. Now, it's a little harder to say that without Lowe and without Quaintance, but still, we've got them beat in the depth game. They've got a lot of guys that could be, solid players. They could be. They've got some freshmen. They've got some foreign kids on there. They've got that 7-footer, Daniel Jacobson, who got hurt last year. But,
he's as tall as Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, they're the king of the 7-footers.
They are.
But they're the king of the 7, 2 plus.
The 7-footers that are more like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, those guys. I'm surprised they didn't give a run after that the kid from Florida.
Oh, I know. I thought for sure that Matt Painter would go after him.
Yeah. But their starting 5 is incredible. 4 or 5 returners. Obviously, Braden Smith returns from last year. CJ Cox, Fletcher Lawyer, Trey Kaufman, Wren. All of those guys are returning to this basketball team. TKR, Trey Kaufman, Wren, averaged 20 points per game last year. And this says here, the Smith to Kaufman-Wren combination accounted for 236 points last season. That's pretty impressive, right? So a lot of their offense is that 2-man game between Smith and Kaufman-Wren in the pick and roll, a lot of different ways they kind of feed each other. And that's going to be a key to stop. And the 2 guys that are going to be tasked with that job, Carson, I think are Denzel Aberdeen and Mo Diabate. Because you figure Mo D will be on Kaufman-Wren because obviously Clough is their 5. So you'll have BG or Moreno on Clough. And then you'll have Aberdeen or Chandler on Smith, I think. And so those 2 guys have the most important defensive assignments in this basketball game.
Oh, 1,000%. That's what Purdue lives off of. They live off the pick and roll. So Mo D and Denzel are going to have to be ready for this matchup and bring the physicality because both these guys are veterans and they've been at it before and they're really dang good. So we're really going to have to lock in on the defensive end. And honestly, I know I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I think our athleticism outweighs theirs. So I would kind of like it to see us press a little bit just to see if we could throw them out of their pick and roll offense, get them to make some stupid turnovers and get us some easy buckets on the offensive side.
Yeah, defense is going to win us this basketball game. That's the reality, Carson. Our defense is going to win us this game if we're going to win it, right? Their defense, this is an article from CBS Sports. They have the biggest weakness and the biggest strength of every top 25 team. And the 2 weaknesses they listed for Purdue were athleticism and defense, which obviously sometimes, those 2 things go hand in hand
together.
But, that's the reality is they're going to score the basketball. The goal for us, they're going to score. You're not going to stop them from scoring. It's to limit the damage and only let them have one shot. Do not let them get a bunch of offensive rebounds. Give them one opportunity per trip down the floor. And then it's use our athleticism. This, to me, is an Ortega-Oweh basketball game. Get to the rim. You are just a better athlete than they've got out there. Get to the rim and lay it in, man. That's what we need Ortega to do in this basketball game. He needs to get to the rim. Now, are we going to have to shoot the ball well to win? Are we going to need to make some threes? Of course. I'm not saying that it's all going to be crashing to the rim with Ortega and Denzel, but we're going to have to shoot the ball well. But this feels like a game. I wrote an article this morning talking about 3 bold predictions, and my number 1 bold prediction was Ortega-Oweh is going to outplay Braden Smith, and that's how you win this game. And obviously, they won't be like guarding each other. I mean, there could be switches, but they're not going to be going head-to-head, but it's more our star player needs to be better than their star player. Mm-hmm. And I think if that happens, we win this basketball game.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I wanted to touch on more stuff along the defensive lines because I think if you extend the defensive coverage out farther, I think it allows more time to come off the shot clock and allows them to have less of an opportunity to get in the offensive motion that they want to be in. So I really do think this game is all dependent on our defense. And I mean, because offensively, their defense is not the greatest defense. Like, we're not super terrified to be playing against Purdue's defense. They're good, but I think we can definitely score on them. It's going to be on the defensive end. Can we get consecutive stops to go on runs and beat them in the game of runs?
Yeah. And I agree. It's going to be – that is going to be a big key is not letting them go on big runs. The basketball is a game of runs. They're going to happen, but our defense is supposed to be a strength of our basketball team. We're a more well-balanced basketball team than them. We talked about it. Purdue's ranked number 1 in offense and KenPom number 29 in defense. We are ranked inside the top 10 in both of those categories. We're supposed to be strong on both ends of the floor. This will be a good test. There's no better way. We talked about it all offseason. Defense got to be better. Defense got to be better. Defense got to be better. Well, here's an opportunity. Want to hear a good way to test your defense? Play the number 1 offense. That's a really good way to test your defense. And we are going to see that on Friday. How good is our defense going to be? It's going to be imperative that you don't leave Lowe wide open. That kid can absolutely shoot the rock. I mean, if you leave him open for a bunch of threes, it's going to be tough to win this basketball game. So that's the guy for me, Fletcher Lowe. The dude can shoot the rock. You got to watch him on the perimeter. He's the shooter that scares me the most. You cannot leave him. A hand's got to be in his face. You got to pick him up immediately. So those are
all their guards shoot over 37% from 3. So
yeah.
All their guards are viable options from the 3-point line. So you really can't leave any of them open.
But that's the kid, man. Like, I remember watching them play last year. Lawyer,
he's good.
They all can shoot, but that kid's the guy that I think can really kill you. But that's why they're so good, Carson. You make a great point. There's nobody on their team, that besides maybe Clough. And obviously Kaufman-Wren's not a well-known 3-point shooter, but Clough shot 6 last year at South Dakota State, whichever the Jackrabbits, whichever one the Jackrabbits is.
No, Clough and Kaufman-Wren aren't going to shoot very many.
No, yeah. At all. Clough shot 6 last year, made 4 of them.
Kaufman-Wren shot, I think, 7. So I think they're around the same ballpark.
So that means that our guards have to keep hands up. You got to pick up their guards immediately because they're going to shoot the 3 ball and they're going to shoot it well. What's going to be the key to stopping this 7'4" kid, Carson, when he comes in the game?
I say anytime he gets the ball, you just collapse on him defensively and make him make decisions, because I think he might get a little frantic and make some dumb turnovers or put the ball on the ground, and it might be an easy turnover. So I think collapsing on him, making him make decisions would be huge. But I also think it's going to be a massive matchup, like I said yesterday, for either BG or Malachi, or actually both, because I think that they're going to do a lot of inside stuff. They're going to want to get a lot of layups and a lot of good looks. So I think our bigs down low have to be great defensively for us to win this game.
A big key for dealing with those 7-foot+ guys is just being physical with them. Often they are not very physical. I mean, they are sometimes like I thought for them. I mean, would you agree that Edey was? I think Edey for those type of guys was a little more physical than you see.
Edey was a behemoth.
Yeah,
Edey was like 7'6", 320, and could move. Edey was a monster.
But I'm just saying this Jacobson kid is not.
No,
he's not
Edey.
That physical beast. He's just one of those guys that he's 7'4".
Yeah.
And then I remember watching him play last year and thinking, man, this kid could be good. And then I think he got hurt like 4 minutes later. But I'm really excited to see Malachi Moreno in this basketball game. I did those 3 bold takes this morning. That was one of my 3 was, can Malachi Moreno, this is going to be his breakout game. We've talked about it. You have to find a way to succeed at the 5 while Jayden Quaintance is injured, right? And it's going to be a mixture of BG and Malachi Moreno. If we're going to be successful at the 5, Malachi Moreno is going to have to play a role in that. One of them has to be good. And I don't care who it is. One of them has to be serviceable. One of them has to be good until Quaintance is back. And I don't care which is which, but this could be a real breakout performance from Moreno in his first real college basketball game.
1,000%. And I think Purdue wants to play inside out. They want to get some good looks early, so it'll open up their shooters on the outside. And I think the bigs down low have to be able to handle that pressure down low and not allow easy buckets, because if Purdue gets in a flow where they're getting easy layups, then it makes it so much easier for them to kick it out to open shooters. And then at that point, it's going to be tough to come back.
And, what's interesting about, I'm actually searching right now on the NCAA basketball website. It doesn't, unless I went by them, it doesn't look like Purdue was one of the higher teams in threes per game, which I want to find that, which we know that a lot of their game is working down low.
Yeah, they want to establish the pick and roll to get good quality shots down low.
And exactly. And then they're going to kick it out to open shooters.
Yes.
That's kind of how but what I'm surprised about, and I really want to find them on here. There they are. They're 200. They shot 21.6 threes a game. That was 221st in college basketball last year, which is kind of what the reason I wanted to find that stat is because that goes to show you they want to crash down low and score off that pick and roll and then get it out to open shooters and get quality threes. So this is not a team that's going to just throw up bad shots. They're going to use their down low game to create looks from 3. That's the goal of this basketball team. And we got to know that. You've got to know it. You have to stay on your man. If you come inside to help them or whatever, you have to get back out, because if you crash and you come to help, they're going to find that open shooter. And that's where they're going to take their quality looks. They're going to be quality.
I think our defensive talking and rotations have to be on point. And it is the first game of the season, so we are new at this. A lot of new guys on the team, so it could look shaky there at the beginning, but I think we'll get it locked in during the game.
Now, if I had to give you, knowing their projected starting 5, Smith, Cox, Lawyer, Kaufman, and Clough, Carson, how would you, with our starters, go ahead and predict for me who's going to start Carson, because knowing what we're dealing with the point guard, obviously we know who it would be if Lowe was healthy, but give me your projections for the starters with Lowe, assuming he's not in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to say I think they'll give the nod to Denzel Aberdeen at the point guard position, and then I think they'll run Colin Chandler at the 2 and then Ortega at the 3. And then I think they'll run Mo D at the 4 and BG at the 5. That's my starting lineup.
I would agree with you. I think that's going to be what they end up doing. So how would you match up our guys on their guys? You've got
Braden Smith, easily Denzel Aberdeen. I think that's easy. Colin Chandler, Lawyer. I think Colin Chandler could take that dude's lunch money. Yeah. And then Ortega can guard. Well, Ortega's going to end up being on the CJ Cox. Is that him, or do you think the North Florida guy starts for them?
It looks like they're going to start Cox. That's what I've seen.
Yeah. So Ortega on Cox, which, that's a good matchup for us. And then at the 4, you got Mo D on TKR. I think Mo D is going to be able to challenge him on the defensive end, but TKR is a really freaking good basketball player. So that's going to be a matchup to watch. And then you got Oscar Clough against BG, and that's going to be another matchup to watch. Oscar Clough coming from a lower division against BG, who's been in the SEC established. So it's going to be a fun matchup. And see, I'm excited for BG because BG can prove that this offseason hype has been true if he goes out and has a good game on Friday.
No, I agree. Now, I'll tell you from what I've read, though, this Omir Mayer kid, the foreign kid, this kid can play a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they start Mayer or someone else other than Cox.
Yeah. Well, but Mayer, what I've seen, Murphy's the guard that came over from North Florida. Mayer is I think he's from Israel, the guard who they see as the future point guard after Smith is gone.
Braden. Yeah.
So I think that Mayer is going to come in and run the one when Smith gets his 3 minutes on the bench. No, I'm kidding. They're Purdue, just like we're talking about wanting to run different lineups out there. I think Purdue's going to do that too. Now, the only difference with Purdue, Carson, is they have so much player retention. They already know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could see them doing is maybe running their starting five, maybe 7 less minutes than they normally would, just to get these other guys some real feel in the game. But they know, we have a lot of new faces, new players, new lineups, players learning the system, right, that are going to have to be doing this. Purdue, they already got that tightened up. So my point is, I think the only thing they would do, is play their guys a little bit less to kind of get that, to get Jacobson and Mayer, Harris, Murphy, West Jr. to get these guys some.
I mean, it's an exhibition, so I would expect that regardless. I think both teams should do that. I mean, Purdue's also trying to get better just like we are.
Yeah.
So I think both teams throwing out multiple different looks and lineups is good for both teams.
Well, you'd be silly to play your starting 38 minutes in this game and not let your guy. It'd be silly.
Also, it's an exhibition, so you're risking a lot of injury and all that other nonsense. So
now, do I want to win, Carson?
Yeah.
Do you want to win? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
We want to win this game. But now the only thing I will say is we do have that. I mean, if I was going to press, I think we should beat the crap out of Georgetown. So, if I was going to press,
well, speaking of Georgetown, did you see Jordan Burks?
Jordan Burks at UCF.
Oh, he's at UCF. You're right. Fuck.
But he did well against Duke.
Yeah,
that's what it was for UCF in that game. So, I mean, I think that this basketball game is going to our takeaway. I don't think we're going to take away much from our offense, Carson. I don't. If we were playing Houston, I think it'd be different. If we were playing that elite defensive Houston basketball team, I think it would be a lot different. Mm-hmm. But we're playing the best offense. And frankly, I would rather learn about our defense than our offense. In the Mark Pope system, Carson, we know that we're going to score the basketball. It's not a concern. We're not worried about it. We know that we're going to score. Whether it's a lot of threes, whether it's scoring, we're going to score the basketball. That's not a concern. The concern is how good we've heard the hype all offseason. Defense is going to be great. The players have said it. We've heard it. We've heard it from the national media. This is our opportunity to see this defense play and to see this defense succeed. So that is going to be what I'm paying attention to more than anything is our defense legit?
Yeah, that's the biggest conversation of this game because Purdue, what they want to do on the offensive end. If our defense shows up and proves that it's a top 5 Ken Palm defense like they said it is, then we're going to be down to the wire at the end of the game with them because we're going to be good. But it all comes down to communication and, Purdue's, like you said, they're a well-established team. They've been there. They've done that. We're new. We're a newer team, even though we have some veterans. We have some good pieces. It's going to be an interesting game, but I think as long as we play together and play solid team defense, we can win.
Yeah. No, I agree. This is an opportunity for Kentucky. Purdue, I'll be honest with you, Purdue, I just don't think they're worried about it. They know how good they know how good they are. They're not worried about this game in the same way we are. They know how good they are. They know how good they're going to be. This for us, we have everything to gain and nothing to lose. in this. I mean, and I think it's kind of this. I mean, I think they're playing the same way. They're set in their ways. They're fine. They're happy with what they got. But you want to go out there and prove, hey, without our starting point guard and starting center, we beat the number one team in basketball. That'll make some noise. And everyone will still take it with a grain of salt. What you want to leave, you want John Rothstein to be tweeting, this game feels like a April basketball game, and get your nitroglycerin pills. That's what you want to be seeing.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I mean, I want to win the game, but if we lose by a couple points, win by a couple points, I want to know that we can hang with the best team in college basketball, because if we can, that means we're one of the best teams in college basketball. So that's all I want to take away from this basketball game. Maybe better to win. Heck yeah, I want to win. But that's the goal to take away is that right there. So defense, Carson. You got anything else before we start getting into some score predictions and maybe an MVP?
You want to give yours first? You want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. I think you're going to see this in the 80s. I think it's fair. I think in the 80s. So I am going to take, if we had Lowe, I would take Kentucky. Okay, if Lowe was playing, I would probably take us, knowing it's at home. If it was on the road, even with Lowe, I'd probably go, okay, But I'm going to take the Lowless Wildcats to drop this game 83-87. But we're going to leave this game saying everything I just said. This Kentucky team is really, really good. This Kentucky team is one of the better teams in college basketball. We're going to be leaving with positives. And I'm going to take Malachi Moreno as the MVP. I think that he is going to have his welcome to college basketball moment. I have a feeling Malachi Moreno is going to be better than BG. I have this feeling. I'm really excited about him. I have a feeling that he's going to take some minutes from BG. And this is going to be the start of that. And not to say BG is going to be bad. I just think Malachi Moreno is really, really stinking good. So that's my score prediction, and I'm taking Moreno to be the MVP.
Heck yeah, I love that. I hope Malachi's the MVP. That'd be awesome. So for mine, I also agree. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be lower 80s, though, into higher 70s. So I'm actually going to take us to win because, our juju when you pick us to lose. So I'm going to take us to win 80-79 at the end of the game. But I could easily see Purdue winning because, like you said, we have Lowe and JQ out. But at the end of the day, no matter what the score is, I do think at the end of the game, we're going to be like, wow, we can compete. We're a good team. We do have some guys missing, but we look good today.
What's your MVP?
Oh, my MVP is going to be Mr. Otega Owe. Good luck guarding him, Braden Smith, lawyer, or that other guy.
Yeah, that's not going to be a fun day for them.
No.
They might score, but it's not going to be a fun day.
They might score, but they're going to let up 20 points.
Yeah. Just kind of like poor Mr. Reed Shepherd last night. Good God.
Yeah.
You watched any of that, dude?
Dude, did I? I had 10 points, 3 assists, and 2 made three-pointers, and he missed a free throw to get to the 10-point line. He made the 2 threes. He had 3 assists. And it was at the end of the game, and he has the free throw to get to 10 points and misses. I was like, Reed never misses free throws.
No, especially in the clutch. In the clutch, he never misses free throws for sure. But that was sad to watch, man.
Well, I mean, to be fair, part of the time he was guarding Shea. So,
I know, but I mean, it was everybody. Dort, Caruso.
Yeah.
When he was on defense, he was getting cooked. That was a little sad to see. I was hoping defense would take a step this year because they're going to need him, man.
The problem with him is just in the NBA nowadays, he's just a little too undersized. Like all these guards are 6'6", and Reed's out there at like 6'1".
Yeah, they're 3 to 4 inches of height and 20 to 30 pounds of muscle, and they're just going to go around you or through you. You get to pick which. So hated to see that, but Reed, you got to start playing defense, man. You got it, kid. Although he did wear that Arkansas shirt.
How about that game though? Did you watch any of that?
Yeah, that was a fun basketball game.
That was an awesome basketball game.
Calling the timeout.
Yeah.
And they didn't, which was funny. and they didn't end up awarding that. That was a fun basketball game to open up the NBA season.
Oh yeah, some big shots by our boy Shea too at the end of that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looked really, really good in that game. And what's so cool about that was he stunk. Not he wasn't.
No, he was not good at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
because I also had him over 30, and I was sweating it there for a long time.
Between the two overtimes in the fourth quarter, I think he scored like 22 points.
Yeah, he went
like
nuts.
35.
The fourth and the last two overtimes, he was nasty.
So leave in the comments your predictions for the game. Leave in the comments your score predictions. Who's going to win? Are the Cats going to get the win? Is Purdue going to get the win? Who's your MVP? Leave all of that in the YouTube comments. Hit that subscribe button. All of that helps the show out a ton. Carson, anything else before we get out of here?
Oh, that's all I got. Hope everybody has a good hump day. It looks nice outside, so go enjoy the weather.
Have a great rest of your hump day, and we will see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today Podcast.